What is up, everybody? It's your boy Kendopo YT, and we are back at it again today with another video. Today we react to 10 of the biggest fast food failures of all time. Let's get into it.
McDonald's has pasta dinners, lots of spaghetti with delicious meatballs.
Already looks disgusting.
Fast food items have the ability to become major hits, like the Big Mac or the Baconator. However, sometimes the choices fast food restaurants make are more flopper than whopper.
Where did you get that?
The crime
I don't get it.
Here are some of those very epic fails. The 10 biggest fast food failures of all time. Long John Silver's Big Catch Meal.
Welcome aboard.
It looks like it's way too much, to be honest.
This seafood
Kinda
monstrosity was added to the Long John Silver's menu in 2013. It contained a 7.5-ounce piece of haddock served with a pile of onion rings and a side of hush puppies. Long John Silver's described the meal as the largest fish we have ever offered and claimed it was a game changer. The Big Catch Meal was launched in May and was discontinued by August of that same year due to a significant backlash. It turns out that Long John Silver's was also serving up a shockingly unhealthy amount of calories and fat. The Big Catch Meal contained more trans fats than the average person should eat in 2 weeks.
Much too greasy. Even the smell of it makes me feel physically sick.
A lot of this was attributed to the fact that these items were cooked up in a big vat of partially hydrogenated frying oil. By the end of 2013, Long John Silver's agreed to look into new oil for their fryers that would replace hydrogenated oil in their restaurants. This meal was actually panned as the worst restaurant meal in America by the Center for Science in the Public Interest.
Well, that's hardly the image we want for Long John Silver's.
Pizza Hut's gourmet rebrand.
That's gourmet cooking for you.
What is up with these restaurants coming up with the weirdest stuff?
Greasy, cheesy pizza. But in 2014, after declining
2010
sales,
is a
they
weird
decided they
decade.
wanted to appeal to foodie millennials and updated their menu to include new artisan options. They dubbed this rebrand Flavor of Now. Some of these artisan toppings included honey sriracha sauce, Peruvian cherry peppers, and Asiago crust. The company even reached out to some of the more trendy food trucks in New York City to help suggest menu flavors and items that would appeal to the hip foodies out there.
What is it?
Someone was
Reached out to some of the more trendy food trucks in New York City to help suggest menu flavors and items that would appeal to the hip foodies out there.
expecting someone with some sort of vehicle, but not this.
However, at the end of May 2014, the CEO of Pizza Hut's parent company, Yum Brands Incorporated, admitted at a conference in New York City that the rebrand was not working.
That's a terrible call.
What was once referred to as the biggest rebrand in the company's history was now the biggest flop they'd seen, at least in a long time. It turns out that they neglected one major thing. Their target audience just wanted cheap, greasy pizza. Within a year, Pizza Hut ended up making a complete reversal back to their original menu. McDonald's Pizza.
McDonald's has lots of stuff for dinner, like new family-sized pizzas.
With the rise of pizza,
I swear, man, Mickey D's be wildin' now. Bro, real shit, yeah? You know the way you have like a Big Mac, and then after, like, when you have like one bite, and then like after a while, it's like, I wouldn't say stale, but like, you get like sick of it, like, if you get what I mean. Like, if you eat McDonald's, like, you know what I mean, for those who are McDonald's. But freaking weird times we're in.
The chains at this time, the company decided it wanted to tap into this corner of the dinner food market and introduced their own pizza. By the early 1990s, McDonald's implemented it in a portion of their Canadian and American locations.
Pizza time.
However, there were a lot of complications that came with this decision. First, there was an equipment issue. The McDonald's pizza required a new oven to cook, which was designed to quickly cook pizza dough from frozen within 6 minutes.
This is good. Yeah.
It meant that every single restaurant location would have to obtain a new oven and find room for it in their kitchen. Next, there was a drive-through issue. The boxes designed for the pizza didn't fit through the window, which meant that they had to be expanded. That called for more more renovations. The pizza also took a total of 11 minutes to cook and prepare, which is
We
way
need Gordon
too
Ramsay on
long
this
to
one,
keep
man.
up with drive-through times. People frequently had to pull over and wait a long time for their
Shout out
pizzas.
to
Not
Ramsay.
only was this a flop, but it angered many popular pizza chains and prompted them to create smear campaign-style ads against McDonald's.
That was
Freaking
like
alarm.
Ronald McDonald eat a cheeseburger off the grimace. Serious.
Burger King's Halloween Whopper.
Juicy, flavorful, with just a hint of...
In
Thank
2015,
you.
Burger King was consumed by the Halloween spirit. It resulted in the Halloween Whopper being added to the menu. Average Whopper,
I don't know what.
to achieve the dark hue,
That's-
the buns were
what
infused
were
with
they
A1
thinking?
steak sauce. The burger itself themed wrapper as an added bonus. It turns out that was more nightmare-inducing than anticipated.
welcome to my world.
Customers began to report that the Black Whopper was turning their poop green. And not just any green, neon green. The reason for this was the dye in the sauce. However, according to
Imagine
some
that.
nutritionists, a typical serving of A1 steak sauce doesn't contain enough dye to have this effect. The consensus was that Burger King was clearly using a concentrated version in their buns. Now, the green poop wasn't really a health hazard. It just came as more of a shock to people who were not mentally prepared for the experience.
What'd you
Domino's
expect?
Oreo dessert pizza.
Aren't cookies the best?
2007 was an
Oreo dessert pizza. That's the best you can do. An Oreo dessert pizza. Like, imagine right now having that. Like, you want Oreos on its own. You don't want it tasting like a freaking pizza. Like, imagine just you know. Let's just get on with this video.
interesting year.
And we are calling it iPhone.
For $3.99,
If
you
I-
could
if
order
I
a
see
giant
one
pizza-sized
more
cookie
thing
from
that I
Domino's. It
desire
was
or
served as an
just
addition with any purchase.
straight
The
up-
Oreo dessert
straight up out of
pizza
the
consisted
pocket,
of a warm, giant
I'm turning
chocolate
this
chip
stream off,
cookie
man.
slathered in
can't watch
Oreos
this.
and super sweet, sticky vanilla syrup. Most people agreed that this concoction was way too sweet and also too chewy. According to some reviews, the cookie portion was also pretty bland. It's that signature creamy filling that we really care about. So when you take it out of the equation, it's not the same.
Okay.
Overall,
making
it
a
was
pizza, though.
unappealing
That's-
and
that's
didn't
just-
last very
that's-
long on the menu.
That can give someone diabetes on the
While
spot.
Domino's has developed a substantial reputation for affordable pizza delivery over the years, it has never really been known for its desserts. It seems as though they've taken the hint. After trying to launch other types of dessert pizzas over the years, the company has seemingly decided to stick with brownies, Cinnasticks, and lava cake for the time
Thank you.
being.
Use the basics. It always
Pizza
works.
once in a while.
McDonald's spaghetti.
McDonald's new pasta dinners.
I don't know why the hell they think this works, man.
Balls.
In the 1970s, McDonald's
Of course,
decided
the
to develop mixed spaghetti. The
course.
dish was long spaghetti noodles covered in marinara sauce, topped with shredded cheese, and served in a cardboard container. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, McDonald's decided to give it another try. They launched mixed spaghetti in some locations across the United States, mostly the South.
When don't you like spaghetti and meatballs, huh?
This time, they tried a few varieties, including lasagna and fettuccine alfredo. These products were launched in those locations to be tested over the course of a year. But like the McPizza, people do not go to McDonald's for Italian food. This item was taken off the
Exactly.
menu
What do they
pretty
think it
quickly.
works?
Still, McDonald's
Go
did
to the
try to
basics
bring
and
back
work
their
for you.
mixed spaghetti in other locations around the world. You can try it yourself, but you have to go to the Philippines to get it.
Lasagna, what the hell's the matter with you?
Burger King's Satis Fries.
It's time to get satisfied.
In
They're not
2013,
too
Burger
bad.
King decided they needed to cater to a more health-conscious audience in North America and decided that the best way to do this was to release healthier fries.
Is this organic?
The Burger King Satis Fries were made with a type of batter that was designed to absorb less of the frying oil. This way, they wouldn't contain as much fat as regular fries. The results were fries that were only 4 grams.
And this is where they fuck up. Instead of going to the basics, y'all choose to do something else, and it completely flops. I ain't gonna lie though, they don't look bad from when you see it. Like, that's the thing about these restaurants. Like, when you first see them, they look like, man, I need to get that. But then when you taste it, it'll tell you everything. Like, we've all been there.
Less in fat than the regular fries, and still contained 270 calories in a small
bad for
serving,
that old
only
man.
about 70 calories less than regular fries. According to some reports, many customers started calling
Who's
them
gonna take a poop in
saddest
the morning?
fries. Let's face it, when you're hungry for French fries, you don't care about calorie content.
Exactly.
I want to eat bacon and butter and buckets of cheese, okay?
Because you know you're not making a healthy choice to begin with. For example, even though McDonald's has released a lot of healthier options, their biggest sellers are still French fries and burgers. Burger King's
Nah,
top
man, I'd
seller
say it's
is
more
still
so nuggets,
the Whopper.
man.
Within a year, Burger King started discontinuing
Nuggets
the
and
saddest
fries are
fries
like
from
the
their
best
menu
go-to.
Carpet day!
and went back to the good old greasy fries people know and love. Dairy
Thank you.
Queen's Breeze.
Come on. I'll
Dairy
treat you to a
Queens.
Dairy Queen.
Just like Burger King, Dairy Queen also decided to try
never
to
heard of
appeal
Dairy
to more
Queen.
health-conscious customers. In 1990, Dairy Queen launched the Breeze. It was basically a blizzard made from frozen yogurt instead of ice cream. It lasted about a decade before the company finally pulled the plug. and
Surprised it even lasted a decade. It should have lasted
The
only a
problem
day.
was that it just didn't sell. Some employees
it's
actually
too
stated that the
much.
frozen yogurt supply in the store
The fact
would
that it even
often go
lasted 10
bad
years,
or
like.
expire before they could sell any of it. One of the issues could be that a frozen yogurt-based blizzard still isn't actually healthy, especially when you mix in a bunch of candies and chocolates that completely defeat the purpose of a healthier
definitely.
base. It was technically lower in calories than a regular blizzard, but still had a ton of them when the mix-ins were added. Or perhaps the problem is that Dairy Queen was too early in their thinking.
I really want to sort of make a healthy, low-fat or non-fat.
Now, frozen yogurt chains are incredibly popular, and people enjoy turning to this alternative as a healthier way to enjoy a cool dessert.
Okay, man, at this point, just go to the next one.
Unbeatable value from Sky. Get
Holy
Sky
freak.
€1 a month. Plus
Get off
Sky
my
cheaper,
screen.
€10 a month.
I don't care.
Super fast, super alive.
Restaurant chain best associated. During the 1980s, the restaurant chain best associated with stoners and post-bar runs decided to try to invent a healthy seafood item to compete with the successful Filet-O-Fish at McDonald's. In this vintage commercial for the concoction, you can clearly see that they are trashing the competition by implying that ordering fish at a fast food
What is
chain
that?
isn't real fish. Ironic.
Pretty good.
Coming from a chain that is constantly under scrutiny for the quality of its beef. Now, the more logical solution to compete with the seafood market would have just been to introduce fish tacos. However, Taco Bell decided they were going to do something completely different and decided on a salad instead.
Ron, would you like some salad? Since I am not a rabbit, no, I do not.
The Taco Bell
Hell
seafood
no, boy.
salad contained a
Ain't going for
mixture
no
of
damn
typical
salad.
salad vegetables topped with shrimp, whitefish, and snow crab. Extra toppings also included cheese and olives. And
Just
in
thinking
Taco
about it
Bell
already
style,
sounds
the whole
disgusting.
thing was served inside an edible taco shell bowl. Does anyone really want seafood when they go to Taco Bell? It turns out the answer is no, because this item was
Thank you.
discontinued. Wendys Super Bar.
You eat all that, I won't be responsible.
When you think of a salad bar and buffet style experience, you don't typically think about Wendy's. But back in the 80s and 90s, they gave it a go with their Super Bar. Basically, this was a big self-serve buffet bar that featured
Self-serve?
salads, fruit,
Oh.
Mexican food, and pasta. The pasta section included two
Oh,
types of pasta with sauce options and garlic bread made from hamburger
Probably going
buns.
for the
In the
2020
Mexican
version.
section were nachos, refried beans, and a build-your-own taco bar. Then
If not for the
dessert was a
2020s,
choice between
nobody
chocolate
would have
or
realized
vanilla
that this
pudding.
shit
The
would not
Super
even
Bar
work.
cost about $2.99
Imagine
per
doing this in
person,
2022.
about $5.40 today after inflation, which, if you ask us, is a steal. And a lot of other people thought so too. In fact, so many people loved the idea that Wendy's really couldn't keep up with running a buffet and still preparing their regular orders. They now had to do their usual job with the added responsibilities of cleaning, restocking and preparing foods for the Super Bar. Not to
Thank
mention,
you.
it's probably not very profitable to be charging that little when you know that people are going back for as many helpings as they can.
Face
Good for
deep.
them.
And abusing that free refill policy. By 1998, the Super Bar was discontinued, although some locations still carried it
They should have
until
just stopped
2006.
altogether.
Is this the gentleman who ruined the buffet?
Help yourself to seconds and tap that screen for our next great video. New to our channel and want to join our...
If you guys love the video, make sure to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications. There'll be more 1v1s on my channel coming up next, so make sure you stay tuned for that.